This is the council meeting for February 21st, 2023, Munhall Borough. Chief, I'd like you to lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So for 1 second, I'd like us all to have a moment of silence for our fallen police officer from, what town was he from? Keysburg, yes. Thank you. So Councilman Ondo is with us. He's on speaker here with us. So when he questions us, you'll know where his voice is coming from. Okay? So we're going to have the roll call to order. Seth?
President Brennan.
Here.
Councilman Fry.
Here.
Councilman Hanna.
Here.
Councilman Ondo. Councilman Stein is absent. Councilman Bodedian. Councilman Yunkins.
Here.
Mayor Pauls.
Here.
Quorum, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to start off with President's report. A lot has been going on. We've been talking about several things. One of the things that we talked about in executive session, which I can speak about, is the railroad crossing.
Yes.
The railroad crossing that we've had so much trouble with down at the waterfront that we finally repaired. One of the things that has come up with the railroad, we did finally find out which railroad owned it, and we've come into an agreement where we're going to be able to finally pave the rest of that drive down Waterfront Drive up to the bridge, and we'll eliminate those railroad tracks. And basically the agreement says if the railroad wants to put another spur back in there, that we're not going to object to that. So it's a pretty basic agreement. They will pay us a lot amount of money to take them out. We are not going to get any money reimbursement for the repair work that we did. It's not that we wouldn't want to, and not that our solicitors didn't try to recoup that money, but they just felt that it was a cause that was not worth fighting for, and throwing more money at it as well. There's several other things that I would like to speak about. I'm going to let other people speak about that tonight because it comes in other realms. And that's really all I have to say for my report tonight. Mayor?
We did hire one officer, and I know there's one officer spot open in the budget yet. I still would like to see us hire another officer, but I know we need to do a testing first. The testing is good for 1 year, and it can be extended to a second year. I mean, we have some other ideas in the box that some of the people, the chief and some people came up with, where we can maybe get more people to apply. So, and there's a risk of maybe losing a couple to retirement in the next couple of years. So I would like to see us approve a testing as soon as possible, because as you know, it takes 6 months. It'll take us 6 months.
We are going to vote on that tonight, Mayor.
Oh, are we? Is it on the agenda?
I believe it's on the agenda, and we are going to vote on that, and that's one of the things
Great.
we've been working on. So go ahead.
Bree, who is our liaison to the council and the mayor, has accepted, and she'll be going to Clemson University next year.
Wow, exciting.
So majoring in political science and in global economy. Is that right? Global politics, not global economy.
Oh, I thought you said local politics.
Well, that's when she comes back to Munhall. Probably we never, but she's always welcome back to Munhall here.
Absolutely.
And there'll be other.
Good luck,
things that
Bree.
The chief and I have been talking about some
Congratulations.
other things we're dealing with, the chief will do under his report.
Okay.
Thank you. Hi.
So Mayor, do you have anything else to say?
No, that's all I have.
Thank you. Solicitors report?
Yes, thank you, President Brennan. You already touched on my primary item tonight, and that is, I'm just going to elaborate a little bit. The agreement we reached with Union Railroad in conjunction with the oversight by the PUC, the Public Utility Commission oversees and regulates all railroad tracks, including the crossing on East Waterfront Drive. And for many months now, we've been working by having conferences and negotiations with the attorney for the Union Railroad, also with the attorney for the COG, because that is within the footprint of the waterfront maintenance fund streets, and also with the Union Railroad attorney. So we have reached two agreements, which I am recommending, and the borough manager is recommending that council approve and adopt. Also recommended by the COG solicitor, who is acting as our representative also in this. One is a settlement agreement whereby the Union Railroad will pay the full estimate to remove the tracks from East Waterfront Drive and then restore the foundation to bring it up to street level so that it's in appropriate condition so that we can finally get in there and finish this paving. And that total amount, which was calculated by our engineers, so we feel comfortable relying on the amount, is $20,675. So we're recommending council vote to approve that settlement agreement, and also a crossing agreement, as President Brennan had mentioned. They're simply preserving their right and option, which they realistically have anyway, in case they want to potentially reopen a crossing. If there's a need for a business over there, then they would still have to go to the PUC, but we wouldn't try to object and stop it, which we probably couldn't anyway. And so that's the second agreement. So if council wants to act on those tonight, I would suggest they make a motion to amend the agenda to add the approval. Oh, sorry, it's on there. No, that's all. So that summarizes those. My apologies. Thank you, Seth. It's already on the agenda.
Motion number 3.
Yes, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Engineers report. Do we have a report?
We do not.
Would we like to introduce our new engineer?
Well, there is a motion, motion number 4.
Well, let's wait then. We'll just wait. We'll pass on this report. And do we have anything from the sewer authority for us to discuss about tonight?
Nope,
Nothing?
just that the building's open,
Oh, are their new office is open?
their new office is open, yeah,
Exciting.
$430,000.
Okay.
What are the hours up there? Dave, what are the hours?
I'm not positive, because they haven't said nothing yet, because it's just.
Well, they're just 2 part-time employees, so there's not full-time staffing there, I don't believe.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll find out and get back to you, Rich.
All right.
okay. All right, department reports are on file from the borough manager's office. That's the building inspector, our ordinance officer, and our public works directors. They no longer are going to be attending these meetings. So if there's any questions about that portion, I myself will be trying to answer them if we can. So, we're going to move to section 5, approval of the meeting minutes from January 17th, 2023. We need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Rich, Kevin Ondo seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Any speakers? Anyone like to speak tonight? Yes, ma'am.
I had some stuff. I actually have some pictures to,
Well, you can please come up and
Could I have
address
them?
us, give us your name and address.
okay. Can I ride this up there? Is that okay? Because I'm not real sturdy on my feet.
Absolutely.
You certainly can come up and sit right up front if you like.
You're good.
Oh, you have a,
I got
you have a
this.
chair.
I got this. Okay.
Stand on the back.
Yeah, I'm.
You're fine right there. You're fine right
I
there.
pass these pictures. I've been like,
What's your name and address?
okay, Marie Rustin, and I'm at 811 East 11th Avenue in Munhall, of course. And Thank you. I want to say, like, this goes back years ago. The council passed a new ordinance, this was years back, that if a person has a handicap sign and they have a garage, that they can no longer have the sign because they're to use their garage. Now, it was taken and it's done. That was years back, okay? I can't use this garage for nothing. That's why I'm showing these pictures. From the point of getting in the alley, you're lucky if you have like this much space to squeeze your car. People park morning, noon, and night in this garage or in this alley. It's a dead-end alley. That makes it worse. Now, my garage is a 3-bay. This lady has a yard across from me. She pulls this way in the alley. There's a picture there. And that's blocking the garage. I mean, we can't get in and out of this garage, and there's arguments and all this, so I just want to avoid all this and that. Now, the way it sits now, there's 3 signs in that alley that says no, what is it now? No
2
parking
signs.
in alley.
No parking in alley, no parking anytime.
Anytime, but it's all up and down there. It's different if you're like delivering groceries, or if you're working, you know, working on something and you're in, you're out. These people are there like morning, noon, and night. And it's just.
And you're saying they're blocking your garage?
Well, the way she parks right across from my garage, you cannot swing. She has a 40, 50-foot wide yard. I have a 10-foot bay. You have to angle perfectly to get in it, you know?
The alley's called Barkway.
And it's either like,
So my question to you is, have you called the chief?
you know what, the police have been called so many different times. This lady threatened my life last year, okay?
Okay, so let me just stop you for one
Yeah,
second. Chief,
yeah.
are you aware of what's going on?
Yes, sir.
And
Okay.
could you give us a little bit of detail on what's happening? And I've talked to Miss Rustin when I was mayor many times.
Yeah.
It is, the alley is tough with their garages, but we patrol down there, and every time she calls, we go down and we cite the vehicles and do what we have to do,
Oh,
so.
wow, I didn't know that.
Never saw that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
The one
Okay.
truck was getting
Um,
under
I know them alleys down there are tight to back into.
Not the bottom.
Making it a dead-end alley is worse yet. I mean, either way, you gotta back out somewhere. And that lady on that corner, she'll park like, if her fence is here, she'll park 3 foot from that fence. And it's barely, he has a little Kona.
So Chief, is
You
the
can't
no
do-
parking allowed on the opposite side of her garage? Are you allowed to park back there?
I believe the whole thing's no parking.
No
The
parking in
whole
the
alley.
alley?
Sign says-
So
Okay.
the only thing I can ask you to do is
Yeah.
just to keep up with the chief and the police department
Okay,
and call them. I mean, if there's a problem and you have a problem there,
yeah.
that's really not a council person's,
Well,
it's not our call to enforce the code
I
or
don't
the
wanna
law.
bother them guys.
No,
Well, you're not, they're doing their job,
Oh, yeah.
and that's their job,
Okay,
and it's not our
Right.
job as council.
Okay.
That's the police officers and the chief and the chain of command through the police department.
no, I
So-
was told to come up to a meeting from one of the officers.
Well, you can come up,
Yeah.
you're welcome to come at any
Yeah.
time. You are a resident of the borough, and
Yeah.
we certainly welcome you. But certainly,
There cannot be like an ordinance change down there?
I'm
for
sure that
them?
there's already an ordinance. There's
Is there?
ordinances for no parking in that alley.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
what I think the lady's trying to ask is because she has a garage, she can't have a handicap parking spot.
Right,
And in her defense down there, I grew up down there, and where I live, I don't have people across the street. I got the old 19th Avenue School, and I try to back into one of my parking spots, and it's hard.
I understand that.
this,
I don't know why her sign was taken away. Maybe the chief can talk about that.
I would have to look into
That goes
the
back,
exact reason.
you're probably gonna go
So,
back.
so
on
here's what I'm
7
gonna ask you to
years.
do,
Yeah.
just for sake of the meeting tonight.
Okay,
Please call and talk to the chief. He
okay,
can come down and speak with you, and you can
Okay.
visually see everything. He's more than happy
Okay.
to come down and look at things.
okay.
And that's the best way to settle it.
Assistant Chief Caterina has been excellent about everything, you know, that's who I was kinda talking to.
Okay, well, that's
It's
fine.
like, she'll get out, you know, I know it says no personals, but I mean, I've spent over $1,000 last year in attorney fees. This lady's really unbelievable.
Well-
And I try to shut my mouth, I mean, you can only do that so much. She's out there, I'm in my backyard, she starts right away. She can see me out her windows. And if I'm in the garage, she's beeping her horns like crazy and stuff, just, I let it go. That's, what else can I do?
Your only recourse is to talk to the chief, and the chief will come
Okay.
back to us
Okay,
and give us any recommendations,
Okay.
and we can move forward, okay?
okay, that sounds fair.
Thanks,
He's also
Maureen.
in Crupta, he's down there Riddlin.
Well, he
Taking
came one
dumpster.
time.
He's giving me a ticket for
He was
parking.
gonna give him a
Taking
ticket
a garbage bag
for taking garbage
Well, you
in
put
and
the
out.
park out of the car, I'll give you a ticket.
Yeah.
Get this in under 3 minutes.
I
It's park
don't,
regress.
yeah.
I'll give you a ticket, parking there. You got your car in the same park.
That's why I don't really, I think,
So honestly,
yeah.
Crupta.
we're not naming names, we're not
Right,
pointing
I
people
told
out.
him to do that.
We wanna help you if you have a problem,
Right.
and let's just move on.
Yep.
And you can talk with the chief.
Okay,
He'll come down and look at it, he'll send the assistant chief down,
okay.
and we'll handle this,
I
okay?
agree
And then I'm gonna ask the chief next month for a report from us, and we'll get to the bottom
I
of
can
it.
tell
Of
you-
anything that can be done,
I
okay?
can tell you right now, she won't park back there now because her yard's like a swamp. So that's why she's kind of laying low right now, so that's that.
That's more than 3 minutes.
Thank you,
Well,
Maria.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad you come up, but some of us didn't know what was going on.
What's
You know,
up?
I didn't know that was going on down there.
Danielle,
It's
yeah.
been going on for a long
Yeah.
time.
It's been
Parkway.
going a long time, it has been, yeah. And I don't, like I says, I know you're saying bother the police, but they got a better job to do than referee me and her, you know what I mean?
Well,
It's just.
we thank you for coming and
Yep,
talking with us,
and I
Maria.
thank you guys, thanks.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to speak
Oh,
about?
yeah, you're good.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, name's
Good,
Shannon
good.
This
McManus.
thing does not,
I'll let her back up first.
no, yeah,
Turn the key on.
yeah, it does help, huh?
Keep it straight, keep it straight back.
Shannon?
Yeah,
Where
I'm
you-
at
where-
337 Tioga Street.
Okay.
Keep it all the way back.
President of Munhall Care
Cut it
right
now.
now. And I was coming in to see if we could have space for our free store. There is, I did speak with staff, there is some spaces available in this building. We really need to help out the community. Currently, right now, we're asking our children to go to Steel Valley High School and the middle school to get supplies that they need. If we have something for the community, that's us helping and the borough helping. So it's a benefit for both of us if we can get into a space so we
Well,
can.
we've spoken about your request, and we're glad you're here to talk with us.
Yeah, even if I can't get a space with the building, if I can drop a shipping container in one of the back parking lots, I can hook it up with solar power. I don't need any electricity to be run into it.
So
Yeah.
I think, no, someone else is calling me, but I'm not gonna answer. I'll call him later. Anyway, what I suggest you do is come in and we can talk informally a little bit and get some plans, because council has mentioned a couple things, items that might be a possibility. I don't know how well a storage facility would work, a storage container. In the cold weather, I don't see how that would be an option, to be honest with you. I think that would be very hard.
Braddock has 3 storage containers that they use.
I don't know. I'm
just
just
throwing
thinking
it
it would be
out there.
very hard, and I don't think that back area back there is appropriate right now.
Okay.
We're not physically ready back there for that. I don't think the public would be very safe back there. There's a lot of wood and there's a lot of stuff back there. I don't think
There's 2 plans, but not right
yeah,
now.
it's just not ready right there. We've mentioned and talked about possibilities of you moving into the old municipal building and taking spots there. We can look at some of those ideas. So we have talked about your specific wants, and we just need to move forward a little bit further and see how things go.
Okay, who should I contact?
I would contact Seth, the borough manager, and Seth can speak with me and others in council if anyone wants to get involved, and we can talk. And it's certainly an open book right now.
Okay,
Okay?
okay,
Yeah, I was their former president, and just because of so many things going on in my life, I was too busy, but I am their liaison between the council for Munhall Cares.
Well, thank you, Mayor.
Oh, thank you. But it is a group that is trying to do good things in this borough.
We understand
They're trying
that.
to work with, help people that are in need, help
The
people.
mayor was not at our last meeting. He missed the conversation. We talked about this. and we had a thorough conversation. So, I think we need to have another one and have you present at the conversation, and we can talk about things and we can move forward.
Okay.
Okay?
I think you need to put what, have a presentation of what you want, so we
Okay.
understand the requirements,
Okay.
okay? I mean, that way we'll know, both parties will know what we're talking about.
Okay.
Everything I've heard is just plain verbal at this point. Sounds like a good idea, okay, but we would have questions like, do you have some sort of insurance?
It's in the process.
That's in the
Do you have-
process of
Do you have
getting.
all those things right there before
How
we
often
can
would you
make?
be open, I mean?
Currently starting out only 1 to 2 days a month because we don't have enough supplies yet. But, the schools are helping, all of our kids have to go to the schools and say, I need deodorant. The parents can come in and get the supplies themselves and their kids can just focus on school. They don't have to worry about, I need deodorant for the day.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a couple ideas together. One, you give us some idea of what kind of square footage you wanna use, and then we'll give you some feedback of what we might accept you and allow you to do with borough property, and we'll move forward.
Okay,
All right?
okay.
Great.
I mean, one of the other keys is, money-wise, there's not a lot of money in this organization. It's a-
We understand that.
Rent-wise, it wouldn't be.
We understand.
a possibility.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to say? Any comments from any other residents? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm Debbie Sioka, and I live on Video Drive, and, let me stand up. I'm gonna be covering the meeting for the Valley Mirror. But I have a question, are we gonna discuss what's happening with the waterfront, or is that
We are.
not? Is that on the agenda for
Well,
today?
we were supposed to.
Okay, then that's.
We
I'm
were
just-
supposed to, and
I'm just curious how that's gonna play out.
the chief, we did speak about that in executive session, and if the chief would like to take this question, we can certainly let you speak about it.
Sure. So the waterfront is private property, but it allows access to everybody. But there's rules that they have to follow to be there. So the waterfront has a code of conduct policy, and they are simply just adding another rule to their conduct policy. I have a copy here if you would like to look at it. They're adding a 6 p.m. curfew for anybody under the age of 18. And if you're under the age of 18, you need to be accompanied by someone who's 21.
Can I ask you, how's that gonna impact somebody that's like working, a 16-year-old that's working there? They'll have their badge and?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. This gives us everything I need to know?
Yes.
Okay, I'll read it later.
We should say right into Main Street.
I was going to ask the chief if he'd like to speak on some of the actions that have been going on Main Street. And I know a lot of people are commenting on this on Facebook, and they're talking about what's been going on and what's not been going on. And I just want to let everyone know that the Munhall Police are working diligently on this, and I'm going to let the chief speak about that as well.
We've had 2 businesses broken into. They broke a window, took some items, and we had 1 store that was robbed twice. But we were able to identify the person, and we have a warrant for him, and we're actively looking for him now. I'm limited on what I can say because it's an ongoing investigation, but we know who it is and we're looking for it.
Rick,
Yes, sir.
is there cameras on Main Street?
Yes, there are.
They're operating?
Yes, there are. Yeah, and they've caught several of the people on there.
Yes.
They're not as, we'd like to have some more, but we do have cameras there. They are in operation, and they did pick up this per se individual.
Correct.
So, we do. And that's another hearsay. We don't have cameras working there, here and there, but they are working. And there are cameras that we're looking into that need some work done to them. But in this particular area, they are working, and they did pick up this person. So yes, there are cameras working, and all up and down Main Street, they are working. So I'm not going to give out certain areas because, just not going to do that. Okay? Anyone else?
I think that Tom spoke a little bit before. I think what we're looking at how to do this, with, some funding out of police funds. I think we should, Seth can look into grants itself, but I think what we need to do is just create a system itself, not just, and then link up the areas that we have. Now, probably the biggest thing right there with any surveillance system is to have somebody watching. Okay, so the reality is, we have one dispatcher right there, so might be a little challenge there, but I think looking into the future, designing a system for surveillance would, run money. We may be able to find funding through forfeiture funds or potentially grants to do that, but there would potentially also be the need for somebody to monitor. You could always take it out to a third party to do that. A lot of companies do that today with security systems, and being that they're, in a street, you could go with using cellular as the connection itself, or you could use, some extensions of fiber optic cabling, into a system, and we could look at other areas we could do it. I mean, I think once Tom and Jamie are just beginning to look into it, and I said I would gladly assist with putting together those type of requirements. So I think it's a thing that we definitely need to do. Repair, there's short term, and I think there's a longer term thing that we need to look at.
Anyone else have any other questions?
Yeah, just that, I was going to speak for council, the police, the chief, and the mayor. We are committed to keep Main Street safe. I know there's a lot of stuff you see on Facebook that maybe, but we are committed to do that. And one question that did come up was maybe we need to look maybe into the alert system too. That's, so we can alert people on
Well,
things.
we've talked about that, and we need to do that.
I think we do,
have
too.
to have some sort of a system that our emergency management coordinator is all in favor of, and that's stuff that we can start doing now.
Yeah, I think we need to look into the alert system again, and not just for crime, for other problems, whether there's a water main break or
Exactly.
whatever, a gas leak. We need to get maybe the alert system started.
Agreed.
I mean, most alert systems that working in the healthcare industry, there are, alerts for active shooter, there are alerts for biohazard, there are alerts when patients get lost, actually.
When residents get lost.
Right. But they're typically, you need people to opt into a system, right, that they can get the alerts, but they're pretty, they're pretty narrow in focus. They're not gonna say, there's some action happening on Main Street.
Well, if you go onto Facebook, they're pretty pinpoint right where things are going. My dog ran a video drive.
Well,
I saw it last week of something about a dog run on video drive.
I'm just telling you what systems are designed to do.
Not my dog, but another dog. Right, they are designed to do that.
Our new website will have some capacity to do that, but it is an opt-in system, so residents will need to give out
Right.
or opt in, give their phone number and opt to receive them.
And when we're well aware of that, and I think once we have a system started in place, I think we will get a lot of residents involved now. One thing I want to just say is, I'm so glad to welcome Deborah.
You can call me Debbie.
Debbie, we have not had a representative from our local newspaper in probably 2 or 3 years.
I'm honored to be there.
So we thank you for coming, and we welcome you, and thank you again, okay? Any other questions from anyone? Okay, let's move on. Any public comments for items for consideration, which I think we followed that. So we're going to move on for the items of consideration. Motion to pay bills for the period of January 1, 2023 through January 31, 2023 as summarized in the total amount of $586,820.80. I need a motion. Motion by Kevin.
I second.
Second by Rainey. Any questions on the motion? All in favor? Aye. Did I do that correctly, Craig? I'm really, any opposed?
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you. Motion to approve, number 2, motion to approve payroll to the period ending 2020 through December 31st to January 14th, 2023. And that total number is $325,856.01. And I need a motion. Motion by Kevin. I need a second.
Second.
Second by Rich. Any questions on the motion? One question, why is it going back to December?
Because the way the period ended, the week ended on the 31st, payroll didn't actually hit until January.
Okay, very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? All in favor. Okay, number 3, motion to approve agreement with the Union Railroad. And that was all spoken about by our solicitor in executive session.
It's actually 2 agreements, so just so for the record, settlement agreement and crossing agreement.
And crossing agreement. We're going to vote on them both at the
Together.
same time.
Yes.
Okay? So both are 2 separate agreements, and we're going to have one vote on it. Council's fully informed of what's going on. The public here is fully informed of what's going on. So I'm going to ask for a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Dave,
Second?
second by Rini. Any questions on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's all unanimous. There are no nays. Okay, motion number 4, motion to appoint Greenman-Pederson, Inc., GPI, as our borough engineer. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Rich,
I second.
second by Rini. I heard you in there, Mr. Rondo, but I didn't give you the vote. You're welcome. Any nays or any questions on this?
Nay.
I just selected this wrong. That's all.
Nay.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. So I didn't ask for a roll call vote, guys, but it's a 4-2 vote. So motion passes. After I go through all the motions, I'm going to introduce you, okay? Acceptance of the resignation of a public works employee with an effective date of February 14th, 2023. This is motion number 5. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Dave,
Second?
second by Rini. All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Any questions? Moving on to number 6, ratify the January 31st, 2023 vote to reapprove the Plate Mill subdivision originally approved 4/22/2022. I need a motion. Motion by Kevin,
Second.
second by Dave. Any questions on this? All in favor?
Aye.
All in favor? No nays? Motion passes. Approve the Civil Service Commission to advertise for a new civil service list for police officers. This is item number 7. I need a motion.
Motion.
Did I hear you say motion, Mayor? Was that you?
I would like to, but
Okay.
we'll get into,
When I was mayor, I used to make a motion all the time.
Like-
I really wanted
I've
to.
been tempted to many times.
Yeah, I was giving you the feed there. but
16 years on council, I'm still tempted to.
I need a motion, I'm sorry.
Motion.
Motion by Dave. I need a second.
I second.
Second by Kevin. I gave you that, Kevin. All right, so just a little statement. The mayor talked about this earlier. This is not meaning that we're going to hire a new police officer. This is a motion to take a list. We can look at the list. We can see where we're at. This is going to take roughly how long to get a list together? Several months?
Yes, most likely.
Yeah, so this is preliminary work on doing this. So I need a vote. All in favor? Aye. It's unanimous. There are no nays. Okay, motion number 8. Approve a resolution to apply for USDA funding not to exceed $50,000 for the purchase of a new police vehicle and authorizing the borough manager to sign and execute any contracts or agreements arising from said grant application. I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Dave. Second by anyone?
Second.
Second by Rich. Any questions on this? I need a vote. All in favor? Aye. No nays? Just to add a little statement there, we are applying for grants for garbage trucks as well. Is that correct, Seth?
I am actually meeting with the truck vendor next week to start working on the specs so that we have the pricing for the grant application.
Just saying that for the public, just letting the public know. Okay. Anything else I missed, council? All right, so I think at this time we should let our new engineer please stand up and introduce yourself to everyone.
Hello, everybody. My name's Ashley Reed. I'm a professional engineer licensed with the Commonwealth, and we responded to the Borough Council's request for proposals for engineering services and went through the interview process with them, and that's what brings me here tonight. And I'm thankful to council for the appointment. I'm really looking forward to working with you, and I'll be meeting with Seth next week to get started.
Ashley, welcome aboard. Thank you for being here.
Yes, you'll be seeing more of me.
Okay. At this time, any questions from the public? I always let the public speak if they need to. Any additional items? If not, I need a motion for adjournment.
I have a comment, Mr. President.
Absolutely.
Just to let you know, you're very appropriate in the way you run the meeting. You got much better over the last 3 or 4 months, but it was pretty rough there for a while.
It's a learning curve. It's a learning
I'm
curve.
very proud.
Thank you very much.
Most improved.
Most improved.
I can get worse too.
Oh, I know that.
Anyone, any other statements from anyone? Yes, ma'am.
I just think you're a super guy. I always did.
Thank you, Marie.
You did a good job.
It's finally a pleasure for you to come and be at the council
Oh,
meeting.
thank you. Yep.
I need a motion for adjournment. Motion. Second.
Second.
Second by Kevin. Who was the first motion? Who motioned that? Dave and Kevin for the second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you all for coming.